In the Hardaway Southern T, back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor, y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, I greatly appreciate you sliding through. If this your first time, do your boy solid, man. Don't make it your last time. Hit that subscription button as well. We talk this good boxing, sports, parlays, predictions every single day, not just today, right? Today we here with a boxing EP, right? We're in the midst of this Jerry Anderson situation, right? This Jerry Anderson news. Jerry Anderson has a fight going on in April as well. So people have been asking me, what information I got on the Jerry Anderson, fight. Is Jerry Anderson okay, and what's going on with Jerry Anderson, right? The real answer to that question is, man, nobody really knows what's going on with Jerry Anderson. He's been series of comments, right? Series of events that's happened with Jerry Anderson that has gave us, a reason to, you know, look at him, at least take a deeper look, I think, right? Is Big Baby Anderson, acting out? Is this a cry for help? These seem like, random acts, right, going on with Jerry Anderson. Not really a guy who, especially, coming up, not really a guy who, got involved in the whole lot. This is out of the ordinary behavior, most definitely from Jerry Anderson, right? But I'm about to read, from this article. Jerry Anderson did get charged with a felon, for evading police. Basically, right? He took the police on the high speed chase for whatever reason. From my knowledge now, right? He didn't have, anything illegal on him. He wasn't inebriated or anything like that. But that's what, I'm here for, here to do today, right? I found a few articles that'll help, clear up, what I mean, what's really going on with Jerry Anderson, because interesting situation, right? So I'm finna lay this information on the table, right? And then we go rap about it for a second. I'm gonna tell y'all what I think, right? Heavyweight contender Jerry Anderson was charged with third degree felony, fleeing a police officer at his arraignment Saturday morning after the officer said he led them on a 6+ mile high speed chase, exceeding speeds of 130 miles per hour. According to the Huron Township, Michigan director of public safety, right? So he took the police on the high speed chase, basically. Anderson, per police, fled and evaded officers in the orange Dodge Challenger on Thursday around 1:30 p.m. Eastern. A chase that included 3 attempted traffic stops ended with the boxer crashing into a median. He was released Saturday morning after he posted $10,000 bond on his conditions. He does not drive unless traveling to and from court dates. So at this moment, Jerry Anderson can't drive unless he's going to his court dates or home from his court dates, right? His next court date, a probable cause hearing, is scheduled for the district in Romulus, Michigan on May the 13th. A preliminary exam is set for March 20th. Jerry Anderson, 24, was taken into custody without further incident following the crash, police said. If Anderson is convicted, the charge carries a punishment up to 5 years in prison and or $1,000 fine, along with a 1-year driver license suspension. Anderson posted an apology on social media Saturday night saying, "I'm sorry to my parents. I'm sorry to my girl and my baby. Life goes on, people. Definitely going to make better decisions to all my true friends/supporter." Right? There's a big baby Clemens himself. Longtime top ranked matchmaker Bruce Templer reached out to Anderson on Twitter to offer support. "I hope the great prospect Big Baby Anderson gets the message. Don't blow it, buddy. Let's talk." That's what the top ranked matchmaker had to say to Big Baby Anderson. Why didn't you call Big Baby Anderson phone him? You a matchmaker, right? Why you going to social media? That sound like you just want, a little clout. Sound like you want to, take a little shot at him. Like you took a shot at him and you offer help at the same time, right? You told him yeah, you told him now at the same time. But I digress. Anderson, 16-0, 15 KOs, is in training camp in his native Toledo, Ohio, for a top-ranked boxing ESPN main event April 13th against Rahad Miri in Corpus Christian, Texas. Anderson is ESPN's number 8 heavyweight and is widely considered America's top heavyweight champion hopeful. "We certainly believe it was a case of him baiting us based on the fact he had a camera mounted to the back of his vehicle and that he continued to play the cat and mouse game. Everett Robbins, the Harold Township Director of Public Safety, told ESPN. So the public safety director feel like that he did that for the camera, right? He was playing games. He did it. He did it. You know what I mean? Basically for clout, pretty much, right? Is what she's saying. We're very fortunate that nobody got hurt. The speed reached high levels. Very fortunate our officers were able to balance the public safety with getting him into custody based on his dangerous behaviors. The fact that he kept going northbound, southbound, it was certainly some attempt to cop bait. An officer was conducting traffic enforcement when he noticed Anderson's orange Dodge Charger fitted with a black hood, yellow coverings on the front splitter, and a camera mount with a pole affixed to the rear windshield of the vehicle. Anderson was traveling at 70-mile speed per limit until he reached the officer when he sped up and was clocked at 91. He began rapidly passing other vehicles when the officer activated his lights to signal Anderson to pull over. Police said Anderson then led them on the initial 5.28-mile chase, ultimately reaching speeds over 130 miles as he weaved through traffic. There were officers terminated when the officers terminated the chase, deeming it was a public safety hazard. Anderson exited southbound and then re-centered and then re-entered the freeway northbound. Another traffic stop was attempted, but Anderson again gunned the vehicle to speeds exceeding 130 miles. This second 0.8-mile chase ended as Anderson again weaved through cars and presented a safety hazard. Moments after the second police pursuit ended, a 911 call was received describing an orange Challenger driving recklessly through the streets. The officer spotted the car at the stop sign before Anderson peeled off towards the freeway. Another traffic stop was attempted as Anderson headed southbound and weaved through traffic again. This one ended after 0.32 miles and lasted less than 1 minute. Finally, an assistant officer saw the vehicle cut across 3 lanes and crashed into the median. Finally, an assistant officer saw the vehicle cut across all 3 lanes and crashed into the vehicle. So they saying Jerry Anderson took his own vehicle, he cut across 3 lanes and he crashed it into the median, which is how the chase stopped. So what they saying is they tried to stop Anderson 3 times and he peeled off on them about 3 times going the other way on the expressway, right? Shout out my guy JD, man. Shout out my guy that's one I saw Jay Gill. Shout out my guy JD, man. Shout out my guy Jay Gill. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing. BC, Jay Gill, them TWTs is in the building. Glad y'all can make it, man. We having this rundown. You know what I mean? About Big Baby, trying to see exactly, what's going on. I kind of feel like, man, this is a cry for help because, him saying, man, I don't just want to make, first it was the I don't want to be a champ thing, right? Then it was the him jumping in the Devin Haney thing, right? You know what I mean? Then it was the controversial ring walk in the first place, with the prison, suit and whatnot, and then now it's this, he's been charged with a felony charge, right, for evading the police. We just get into the details and the schematics, right? But let me finish this, John, because this probably the most detailed, story I done found, since I started looking this junk up. This probably the most detailed story I done found. Right, I want to see if he was like inebriated or did he have anything on him or something like that, right? Anderson was previously arrested in November in Ohio and charged with improperly handling firearms in the vehicle when knowingly under the influence and operating the vehicle under the influence of alcohol and drugs, right? So this is the second time that he's been in the jail, that he's in jail in the course of 6 months, right? So, that's why I came here with this EP, man. Like, what's really going on with Big Baby, right? In December, Anderson pled no contest to an immediate charge of improperly handling firearms in a motor vehicle. While the OVI charge was dropped, Anderson was fined 200 and handed a 180-day suspension sentence to the Correction Center of Northwest Ohio, contingent on him not committing a similar offense within the year. Anderson last fought in August when he scored a fifth-round TKO over Audrey Renduko. He fought twice more in 2023, picking up victories over George Reyes and former heavyweight title holder Charles Martin. The decision win over Martin was the long time in all Anderson's fight that an opponent heard the final bell. so basically Jerry Anderson has ran into trouble a couple times, right? As of late. That's one story. Let me read this story from the Toledo. This story is from the Toledo Blade. So this is over. Like I said, his brother's supposed to come home, right? BC, I ain't really sure if his brother's supposed to come home, but if his brother coming home, right, shouldn't he be happy, right? Shouldn't he be, trying to get, everything straight for his brother coming home, not, necessarily acting a damn fool. You know what I mean? My thing is, why are you taking the police on the high speed chase? And it was nothing found, in his car. It wasn't nothing found in his car or nothing like that, right? He wasn't under the influence or nothing. It sounded like he just took him on the joyride. The director of public safety said she feel like that he was basically just trolling them because he had a camera on the back of his car. She said she felt like he was just trolling them, right? But let me read this thing. Right? Heavyweight contender Jerry Anderson is in hot water after being charged with a third-degree felon and being arrested and charged with fleeing the police last Thursday in Huron County, Michigan. The 24-year-old Jerry Anderson was released Saturday. Last Thursday, ESPN told reports Anderson was chased by the police for 6 miles in his Dodge Challenger, reaching speeds of 130 mph. If Jerry Anderson is convicted of the charge, he could receive up to 5 years in prison, which would be worst case scenario. These latest arrests of Anderson, the second since November, case shadows over his promising career, raises concerns about his judgment and decision-making ability. I say this, y'all. What's good, Josh? What's good, Josh? As far as heavyweight boxing goes and young heavyweight prospects, right, and especially American heavyweight boxing and where it's going, we do need Jerry Anderson, man, to be successful. We need Jerry Anderson, to have his head on straight, right? Be honestly, right? And he said this himself. He was like, I never said I wanted to be a champion. I never said I wanted to be the next great American heavyweight, right? And then you got, these couple incidents that happened, right, with the gun, then with the high speed chase. Like, is this a cry for Jerry Anderson? Jerry Anderson has been saying, man, I'm not gonna box forever. I'm gonna retire. I want to make some money. Then I want to get out. What is really going on, with the mental of Jerry Anderson? Is it just, 24-year-old with a lot of money? Right. You know what I mean? Is it something deeper than that? Is somebody forcing Jerry Anderson to do certain things? You know what I mean? Is Jerry Anderson being forced to do certain things? He being pressured to do certain things? Because I'm really starting to think, man, it's something extra than, just a kid being a kid. You know what I'm saying? In this case, right, a baby being a baby when it comes to Jerry Anderson and a lot of this. Again, BC asked about his brother. I ain't really sure, what's exactly going on with his brother, but I do know that the sport, right, needs Jerry Anderson to do well. And, as far as American boxing, American heavyweight boxing goes, right, we need Jerry Anderson. You know what I mean, to do well. So it started in the ring, right, with the talks of, I don't want to be a champ. The talks of, I'm not going to do this long. The talks of, I'm not a hero. I'm not trying to be a role model. Him and Roy Jones had that. That breakdown, right, that in that training session, that made the news where he was crying. Roy Jones was telling the man, it's a lot of pressure on you. He was like, I don't want it. You know what I mean? And they had that moment with him. Is the pressure starting to catch up to the baby, man? You know what I mean? Is it too much pressure? Is being, a glorified amateur, right? Is being looked at as the next great heavyweight, one of the next great heavyweights, being looked at as the man who's supposed to carry the heavyweight boxing into the future. Is all of that pressure starting to take a toll? Is all of that pressure starting to amount on Jerry Big Baby Anderson? He already told us he didn't want it once. My guy Josh, what's good, Josh? Shout out to my guy Josh. Appreciate you sliding through this thing. TWT in the building. Josh said he just proving his point at this point that he truly don't care about being a champion. Strictly that moolah, right? But if you go into jail, you messing up the bag, though, Josh. You know what I mean? He said he ain't crying for help. He basically saying, I told y'all so without saying it actually. So what you feel like is, okay, so in the sense, Josh, you feel like he taking his opportunities for granted, right? he said that he don't want to box. If he keep this up, he probably won't be able to box, for a while, especially if you got to go to jail and you got to do some time, right? So maybe the threat of jail time, maybe this threat of jail time will do big baby some good, right? Because it's a life that you can live, right? It's a life that you can live, and then it's a path that you head down. Again, you can change it. People do got to grow up. People do got to grow up. A lot of people, do things when they're young, and as you get older, you mature and whatnot. Because on all in all, maybe this is a bad time, maybe this is a bad example, right? But for a lot of stuff that Gervonta Tank Davis did younger, he's in a lot less trouble, right? Now he had a bad year last year, right? But before that, you know what I mean? Well, that's a bad example. Scratch that. Tank Davis is a bad example. That's a bad example, right? Not Tank, right? But what I'm saying is everybody deserves a second chance. You get what I'm saying? But for Big Baby, man, I feel like he's at this point, right? He's at this point, right, where he either go. He said both the babies getting locked up. Shake your head, yeah, right, both big babies. He at the point, right, where he either go accept, you know what I mean, what he is and what you really are is the next big thing. You the next heavyweight hopeful, right? We ready to put this thing on your back. So it's either go accept that what your gift is, like Roy Jones was saying, right? You either go accept what your true gift is, right? Or a term that we like to use is you're going to get lost in the sauce. And right now, it's making a lot of lost in the sauce moves, right? Because right now you on top. It's not going to affect this fight, right? But it can affect everything after this fight. With the way the court dates and stuff set up, you ain't going to have to miss this fight. You'll still be able to have this fight in April, right? But let's say that you get, let's say that, the judge feel like, and actually this is his second offense, right? Because he was the first time he got arrested in November, he was in the car, with a firearm, mishandling of a firearm, right? And in that case, it said if you get into any more, cases like this, he could be sent back to jail. Now, why he didn't have a firearm case this time, it was an evading the police case, a serious case as well. So maybe, him doing this, right? Him doing this, run away from the police, that could affect the case that he had in November. So he may have to be doing time on two separate things instead of just one thing. You get what I'm saying? Because he violated the other agreement. So now he might, if he violated the other agreement, he may have to do some time on, or whatever, have to handle that situation separately from this situation that he just got himself into. So now you got two situations you got to deal with on top of what you said, right? Bringing in the money, providing for your family, everybody having to depend on, everybody already got to depend on you. It's enough pressure, right? You got the world depending on you to be the best boxer, right? You got your family pulling on you to be the breadwinner, right? So you saying F boxing, but boxing is really what's going to get you paid the right way. Boxing is really what's going to get you, what's going to keep you out of jail, right? But you saying F boxing, you don't care about that. You just want to take care of your family. Well, how you going to take care of your family without boxing, man? I think at this point, Big Baby Jerry Anderson has to understand, man. He has to understand, and he does, right? Because he didn't say it. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. So if it's bigger than you, man, you really got to understand that he really has to understand that the moves he's making isn't for progressive moves. You get what I'm saying? This could get real bad before it get, any better. My guy, he's a BC. They both got to be able to count. They're not disabled. They're no right from wrong. Just saying to the degree. Shit, the one from Brooklyn's in his 30s. He sure as shit knows better. He said they're going to give him a hefty fine and probation, right? He was already on vehicle probation from the first time, right, BC? He couldn't operate vehicles from the last time, right? So now he come back. He could operate vehicles from last time. He couldn't operate vehicles and have a gun or something like that. It did have something to do with the vehicles. I think he couldn't operate vehicles, and he just and they caught him. Well, maybe that would explain why he led him on the high speed chase, because maybe he knew that he could not operate vehicles, right? So maybe that would explain the high speed chase. He was trying to get away before they caught him and realized it was him. So maybe he wouldn't have to go, to jail, and they find out that was already on probation from the last mishandling it. He said, is it a class? What felony? They didn't say, what class it was. It just sounded like he was street racing, right? It sounded like he was street racing, Jay Gibb, or it sounded like he knew, about that situation in November. He probably wasn't supposed to be driving. So he knew that he probably was going to jail anyway because he was driving he wasn't supposed to be. You know what I mean? From the firearm, or maybe he had or maybe D Free said maybe he had something in the car. D Free said weed, right? But the fact that we do know that it was another case. D Free said maybe he was trying to get rid of something, right? Maybe he had to get maybe he got rid of something before he stopped, but he hit the median though, right? But maybe D Free said D Free said maybe he was trying to get rid of something, and they said in the reports that he was swerving, going this way, going that way. Maybe he tossed some shit. Maybe that's why they ain't find nothing on him. You know what I mean? But he just got to make better decisions, man. Got to put himself in better decisions. And true enough, man, you really, and I get it. Everybody want nice things and blase, blase, right? But if man, it's a certain level of attention that you want, and this is the wrong attention if you big baby. They say no publicity is bad publicity, right? But it's bad publicity if it takes away from what makes you great and what you do, well. And him going to jail most definitely could take away from, his boxing career and his boxing ability and what he do well right now. So if I'm Big Baby, man, I hope this is a wake up call for Big Baby. I feel like, I talked about Big Baby. I used to talk about Big Baby a different way earlier, right? And now when I talk about him, it's more so bad news, right? And I don't like that. I feel like I used to talk about Big Baby, being next up, knocking guys out, having vicious power. Now it's more so me talking about him. You hear me? You hear Big Baby say he didn't want to be a champ. You hear Big Baby say he go retire, sooner than later. You heard Big Baby say, there ain't no expectations for him. You heard Big Baby say, he not trying to be, one of the best ever. You heard about Big Baby, getting caught with the gun. You heard about you heard about Big Baby, running away from the police for no apparent reason. You get what I'm saying? But I feel like all the news as of late is just not the kind of news, right, that I want to see, Big Baby in, right? Because I do feel like, I'm looking at it different. At first, I was indifferent about it. I was like, if Big Baby don't want to be, the people's champ who want to be great, you know, to hell with it, right? But now I'm thinking about it, bro. Big Baby need boxing, and boxing need Big Baby, right? Especially as far as the American boxing, right? Because you look at the heavyweight landscape, right? There's not a whole lot of American heavyweights, and Big Baby has enough ability to where he most definitely could at least make a mark for sure, right? You know what I mean? So man, I'm back on the Big Baby train. You know what I mean? I'm back on the Big Baby train because I want to see Big Baby do well, right? Because I feel like he has what it takes, you know what I mean, to help push the sport forward, right? So I think boxing needs Big Baby to get his stuff together. I think Big Baby need to wake up and realize that, everything that you're saying you want, man, you just want to make money. You just want to take care of your family. Boxing is what's going to do that for you. And if you and becoming a champion, right, that comes with it, right? What I'm questioning right now, right? What I'm questioning right now, right, Josh, is Big Baby's mental fortitude, his mental toughness, right? How strong is he mentally? Because physically, I think all the tools are there. I think if we talking in the ring, right? If we talking, power, if we talking athleticism, right? You could fine tune everything that Big Baby has and turn him into a monster, turn him into already a monster. You could turn that man into a champion. You could turn him into a class A boxer, possibly one of the best boxers ever, right? So I don't think Big Baby's problem is a physical thing. I think Big Baby's problem is all mental. Is he mentally weak? You know what I mean? Is Big Baby mentally weak? Is the moment too big for him? Dick Charles Martin, you know what I mean? Dick Charles Martin, rattled Big Baby's mental, right? Did he get hit? Did something happen in that Charles Martin fight? He almost got knocked out in that Charles Martin fight, right? I remember. Did that scramble him a little bit? Did that, I think it's a mental thing when it comes to Big Baby. I don't think it's anything physical. I think physically he could do whatever he needs to do at his profession, right? But mentally, does he have the mental fortitude? Does he have the want to, right? Some guys want it, but they don't have the skill. And some guys have the skill, but they don't want it. Some guys mishandle it. Big Baby is on the stage right now, right? Big Baby is on the stage right where he's about to, to an even less degree, because Agent Broner, he did, accomplish a lot in the sport before he started to have, his spiral, right? But you don't want to necessarily, and like you do want to be Agent Broner inside of the ring, right? For division champion, you know what I mean, type deal, pay-per-view star, right? You do want to be in title, but you don't want to be Adrian Broner in the sense where, man, I did a whole lot, right? But I could have done a whole lot more, right? You don't want to waste all the talent that you got. And it's crazy. Like Adrian Broner wasted a lot of talent, but he also manufactured a lot of talent. Big Baby hadn't even hit to the point where he has started to manufacture his talent in the best way. He hadn't even got as much money as he go get, right? He hadn't even got the championships like he go get, right? Hadn't even got the resume like he can get, right? So he getting started early. You don't want the one thing about AB that we got to give AB respect for early in his career. AB did everything the right way. AB did everything the right way. By the time AB lost his damn mind, true enough, AB had every right to lose his goddamn mind. 4 division champ. You know what I mean? Pay per view A side. Hey, it is what it is, right? You could have done more, right? But he had a lot to celebrate. Big Baby just career is just getting started, man. So this ain't how you wanna this ain't how you wanna this ain't how you wanna start it by telling us before you even reach 15 fights, right? Man, I don't really want to be a champ, man. I mean, it's just for the money. Man, I don't want to be the greatest. And now, you got yourself in that jail, right? I think it's a mental. I think it's a mental thing for Big Baby. I think it's all mental. He said Big Baby thinks he can be a boxer and still do the issue you do when you got to pick one or the other. Can't have one foot in, one foot out. He's an AB, want to lead them streets alone. Tizzle, how he left the streets alone. He could have had bigger than Floyd. He said he ain't even top 10. By ranking system state, he ranked number 8 right now. You know what I mean? But I'm speaking strictly potential. The potential. Being a 24-year-old heavyweight in America, we don't got a whole lot of heavyweights. You know what I mean? His potential, he got the potential to be, you know what I mean, the ability to be, the physical ability to be one of the best. Mentally, I don't think he there yet. I don't think he there yet. I don't think he got that fortitude. That conversation with Roy Jones, right? Him saying he don't want to be a champion. Him saying he go retire soon. Him saying he don't care about making the he don't care about being one of the best ever. I think mentally he missing it. Mentally, yeah, mentally for sure. Mentally, I think he's out for sure. I think mentally he missing it right now, and maybe this situation, right? Maybe if they take it from him, right? Maybe if he can't get in the ring, right? He's about to have this fight, so it's not gonna jeopardize this fight, right? But after this, it could most definitely extend, you know, a little longer, right? So maybe if he lose the sport a little bit, he'll find that love again. She did Charles Martin scramble him, right? Is it a cry for help? Is he just mentally weak? But I would much rather see Big Baby do well than see him not do well. That'll give us something to watch, especially as far as American heavyweight boxing, right? Because we don't have a whole lot of American heavyweight boxers. You know what I mean? But I appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, man. I am gonna come back to gamble a little bit later. It's 5 p.m. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Just wanted to come hit y'all with that Big Baby info and have a little, conversation real quick. But this ain't the past, ain't the future. This the present. This how you rocking, and I'm out. Love, man.